Hi, in this video we'll be looking at multiplying whole numbers by a decimal. And here we have a whole number 6 and we want to multiply it by a 0.7. So how do we do that? Well, the first thing we do is we write out our algorithm. So 0.7 multiplied by 6. Alrighty. The second thing I do is I look at my sum and I see how many decimal places am I dealing with. Well, 0.7, there's one decimal place. The 6 is a whole number, so I've only got one decimal place. So my answer is in fact only going to have one decimal place. And I put that on the side in a circle just to remind myself that the answer is in fact going to be to one decimal place. And then I simply multiply out. So 6 multiplied by 7 is 42. So 4 and my 2. And then 6 multiplied by 0 is 0, and I've got to add my 4, so it is 4. Alrighty, and I know I have one decimal place, so my decimal would normally be here, so that whole number is 42 point some decimals, but there's no decimal there at the moment, so that's my 0.0, and I'm going to move one decimal place to the left, so I'm going to insert my decimal point over here, and the answer therefore is 4.2. Alright, well here's one for you to have a go at. So I want you to calculate 160 multiplied by 0.75. Alright, put the video on pause, come back when you are ready to check if you've got it right. Alright, well you should have set your sum out pretty much like this, 160 multiplied by 0.75. Now I've put that decimal point in here just so that the numbers themselves aren't looking weird with a decimal point in the middle. Alright, then simply multiply your 1s out, which gives you that number over there. Multiply your 10s out, obviously making sure that you put your 0 for your 70, and multiply all those guys out, and we get that number, and obviously we have to add that up. Now, having a look at that whole sum over there, I can see I only have two decimal places, which is what this is over here, and therefore two decimal places in my answer, which is down here. I move my decimal 1, 2, and I put my decimal place in there, and if you got 120.00, you got it correct. Well done. Alright, well another one for you to do. Calculate 0.75 of 160. Now this word of is pretty much the same as multiplied. So if you see the word of in any of your sums or questions, it is a multiplication. Okay, so put the video on pause and come back when you're ready to see if you got it right. Okay, well here we go. I've set out the sum. I've got 0.75, which is that number there, of, which is the same as multiplication, so times by 160. So I've set my sum out, and all I've done is I've solved this little multiplication. Now, I haven't included a row of zeros, because you don't have to, so I've gone straight to the tens, and there's my 6, but there's my 0, so I've multiplied out. And likewise with my hundreds column, added them all up, and I've had a look at my sum over here, and I see that there is only two decimal places, so I've inserted my decimal place into the second position, so my answer therefore is 120, and if you got that right, well done. Alright, here's another one for you. Calculate 0.73 of 18 meters. Okay, so that's what you need to do, and don't forget to use your unit of measurement in your answer. Alright, put the video on pause, set it out all correctly, and come back and see if you've got it correct. Alright, well here you go. I've set my sum out. I want to calculate 0.73 of 18 meters. So here's my 0.73. The word of is the same as multiplication, so times by 18, and I've pretty much multiplied out. Alright, so that's all this working over here, and I've ended up with a number of at the bottom of 1,314, and I've looked at my sum and I've seen that I've got it to two decimal places, so I've moved my decimal place from the end. I've moved it 1, 2 to the left, which is what I'm asked to do over here, and my answer therefore is 13 0.14, and I mustn't forget to put in my unit of measurement, which is meters, and if I've done all of that, I've got it correct. Well done. And that's pretty much all there is to multiplying whole numbers by decimals.